8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Here comes Eric. Eric, there's 2. There it is. There it goes. There it was. There goes 2.
Hi, I'm Eric.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Chris.
And we're IBeatItFirst. Yay!
Oh shit! I totally forgot. Mirrors.
Okay, Jason, I'm 100% saying this. You have to come up with a new shtick for the new year.
All I do is come up with shtick.
Here comes.
Yeah, but you haven't come up with a new
21.
shtick in a really long time. You've been milking this "Here Comes 2" thing for me.
It hasn't been that long.
It's been a
It hasn't been
long
that long.
fucking time.
No,
It's been like 6 months at least.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me.
Throw your arms in the air and set him crazy. Oh my god. Man, we're gonna get DMCA'd from that horrible rendition.
If we do, then great. I will run to like the hills.
That means
being
they would
like,
have to
"Here."
actually listen to it to know what we're doing because it's so
That's-
bad. That's
And
won't pick it up.
they would have to admit that it was almost as good as the original.
That is very true as well.
Welcome to our spoken word rendition of Barenaked Ladies songs, everybody. All right.
William
welcome-
Shatner does Barenaked Ladies.
Oh, I get that. It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Threw your arms into the air and said I'm crazy? There you go, see? Jason is clapping.
Bravo,
You can't hear it
bravo.
because NVIDIA broadcast is too
Yeah.
good, everybody.
NVIDIA's
But
cut it
Jason
out, yeah.
and Chris were both applauding that.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Welcome into the IBeatItFirst podcast, where we talk about video games, video game news, and of course, what we're drinking. I will go first because I saved this
Do it.
one
Do
for
it.
the podcast. I have not had one yet. The Dunkin' Harpoon Maple Cream. This is
Wait,
the
you
last.
did 2 last time.
I did
You
3
2
last time. I did
did
3
3
last
last
time because I hated myself. And again, I'm going to say that matcha blueberry was a real fucking surprise. That was really tasty, actually. I almost grabbed one of those, except for the fact that I have hard alcohol here, too. But, all right, so this one is... Crap, I forgot to look at how much alcohol content it is. This one's only 5.5%. So the others were, like, primarily all 6%. So this one's a little lower. I don't know what to expect on this, so that smells like maple. I'm drinking a pancake. That's literally what it is.
Yeah. I mean, usually when they
I'm
have
drinking
when
a
they add the
maple bar,
maple, it doesn't
actually.
matter.
I'm drinking a maple bar. That's literally what it tastes like. Which isn't really that bad. Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, no. I mean, whenever you add maple to anything, like especially if you had any kind of real maple, it just overpowers. Like
It
doesn't
is.
matter.
It is. It's overpowering, and it's definitely like I'm like this is like a dessert beer. This is not a beer that I can have like a 6-pack of. Like no,
yeah.
I can't even have a second one of these. Like it is very, very sweet, but I do love a good maple bar. So,
Yeah, you do, fatty. So fat.
all right, and so
All right.
I told Jason that I had a special one for him. Woodford Reserve Rye.
Ooh, yes.
And so 1, it's good. 2, I got it for almost 50% off for some fucking reason. I don't know why. It's like a $50 bottle of whiskey that I got for like $27, $28.
Holy shit! Yeah.
I should have bought
Wood-
2
Woodford
bottles
Reserve.
at Fry's when they had it. I was like, man, it's like, yeah, I'll just get that. Like I'm running low on my bullet. And I was like, that's a pretty damn good price for Woodford Reserve. And this is fucking tasty. This is really good. This is probably one of the better
Woodford's good in
whiskeys that I've
general.
had for $30 and under right now. I was really looking for Tin Cup, and they had 0 Tin Cup at Fry's, which is weird because they almost always have it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Tin Cup in a while. I haven't even had Tin Cup, I think, since the last time we went camping, Eric. I don't know.
The handle? The
Mm.
handle of Tin Cup?
I think it was
What
the
are you
last
guys doing?
time I had some cigars.
Nothing.
Don't
What are you
worry
drinking?
about
Nothing. Jason, what are you drinking, bud?
I am drinking Pizza Port Bacon and Eggs Imperial Coffee Porter. It's got a bacon and eggs on it. I don't know if you can really see that there.
No,
And
your
then
lights
it
are too
is
bright.
yeah. Well, I don't even have any lights on.
Actually, it's your monitors. It's your monitor.
Freaking monitor. I have like full sun in my face all the time here when I'm working. All my tan is just from these damn nits. It is a Pizza Port porter. It is 8% alcohol, which is pretty strong for a porter. And they don't have. Oh wait. Originally brewed at Pizza Port, OB, bacon and eggs has become a favorite amongst Pizza Port fans. The unique and specific coffee blend that is used to brew was created by beer buddies at Bird Rock Coffee Roasters, known as the Pizza Port blend. The mix of Ethiopian and Samaritan beans delivers a fruity blueberry aroma with spice flavors and a blend of perfectly with chocolatey biscuit notes from the beer.
Have you had this before?
Yeah, I had it.
Oh.
All I taste is coffee. Like it is very much a coffee porter. Matter of fact, I'm curious if this is going to have caffeine in it. Keep me up all night. Oh well.
It's called bacon and eggs because it's an 8% porter.
Breakfast.
It's got some protein. Like that's
Yeah.
That is breakfast. Oh God. All right, Chris, you're still on your cleanse, right? Wait, what are you drinking?
So, as part of my cleanse and staying up all night, and as you can see, I'm streaming from my kitchen with my fancy fridge. So I had to get the only Halo Infinite beverage I could find.
So you're in your fancy kitchen, obviously for real.
Yes.
But you're doing that because do you have something that you want to
Can you lift it up and show us?
You did.
Look, Chris has an Xbox Series X, everybody.
Yes.
Xbox Series X fridge. Oh my God. Look at that thing.
With lights.
It's gorgeous.
And
Yeah,
it
it was
sounds like a laptop about to explode.
Yeah, that's the funniest thing, I think.
That sucks, actually. Like, if anything, I mean, I almost picked one up myself just because, like we were talking about, what was it, like 2-3 episodes ago, where I was just like, this a thing's gonna either blow up and be harder to get than the actual Xbox, or it's gonna be a dud, and everyone's gonna find one wherever they want in like a couple months. Obviously, they had them for Black Friday everywhere.
But you knew that they were gonna hold back like a good chunk of them out there so that they could sell them in store. Yeah, like the pre-orders,
and
were
they
just
didn't have any that I saw that was hanging around in the store. You had to go talk to them, and they grabbed one from the back.
That's crazy.
Do you have these?
They're like, we do.
Nothing? Yep. By the way, it's going to cost this much. Yeah, I know.
It costs a quarter? No, 1/5 of
quarter.
1/5.
Oh yeah, it's $500 for that.
$500.
That was $400. That's the PlayStation.
I thought it was
PlayStation has okay, it's $500 for the disc PS5, $400 for the discless, $500 for the Series X, $350 for the Series S, $399 for the Series S.
$399? $299.
You would think that we would know these things, people.
We would. We don't, because we have Game Pass, and we're just like, why the fuck will we buy that console now?
This is true.
Hate that we keep turning this goddamn thing into like, hey, Game Pass is great, but it's so fucking stupid true. Fucking stupid true.
Which, I mean, so it's got like two LEDs. It's got the top LEDs they can turn on and off to make it look like the Series X. It's got the Xbox logo on the front.
Okay, so you can't actually turn those lights off, though, so that if you're trying to sleep at night, you don't have...
You can turn off the LEDs. There's a little switch on the back to, obviously turn it off. Because it's just got like a fan just going on the top of it, so that's kind of where it vents the heat and pulls it all in. It's from the top there, so... You hear basically like a laptop working heavy. And so it's got your regular 120 volt, so you can plug in your wall. It also comes with this. That plugs in a different port, so you can actually plug it into your car, take it with you. It's got a working USB port in the front to charge stuff.
Holy cow, that is loud.
Oh my gosh, is that it?
That's it. I can hear it coming.
Probably.
It's gotta be it.
It is so loud that it comes through NVIDIA broadcast, everybody.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, so I guess we're going to have that thing unplugged for podcasting. Fuck.
We probably got it right there so we could lift it up. Oh, that's crazy.
Can't hear it anymore, right?
No, we can't.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I just flipped it off.
That's crazy. That is just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's $100 for a little mini fridge, and it fits. What would you say? A dozen beers, Chris?
Yeah.
Or sodas, whatever, and stuff like that.
Beer.
I mean, that's pretty big.
Beer.
That's big. I mean, that's big. That's not like a typical mini fridge. It's not one of those desk ones either. That's like, you know, that you see. It's like Coca-Cola and shit like that at Walmart or whatever. Yeah. It's not one of those little like cold plate ones. And
yeah, the reason I didn't get one.
Not quite as big.
It's because I have an actual mini fridge over there.
And
it holds a hell of a lot more than a
But your mini
12-pack.
fridge is like $150 to $300. Is that
yeah, it was
range
probably like
for
a
your mini
$300
fridge
one or whatever. I forget.
Yeah. Well, for $100, you know, Chris has got like a nice little mini fridge in itself.
Hey,
so it's just loud.
This bottle of sake cold for a long fucking time until I finally finished it during a D&D session recently. Oh man. Okay, Jason, what bourbon are you drinking? Or whiskey or whatever?
Just bullet rye. Can't go wrong. And the combination of the two is actually prime.
These two actually complement each other pretty well. It's sad.
I mean, yeah, like the sweetness, that doesn't surprise me.
Oh my god, this is a good dessert beer, I'm not gonna lie. Good thing I already had dinner. I'm pretty certain that I'm going to be sick of maple syrup. Actually, I'm starting to dull from the taste of maple syrup now. I'm not tasting it nearly as much anymore. So
I'm sick of it, and you've just been describing it to me.
All right. Well, it is time to move on to a page's worth of news. Been a while
pages worth. That's
long. If you actually looked at the IBeatItFirst podcast notes, Doc, you would see that it is a page worth of news. We'll start with the biggest, dumbest fucking news that there is on here. Only dumb for part of it, really fucking smart for the other part. And that is 500 Activision employees staged a walkout before Thanksgiving because the CEO. It kind of came out that he knew about sexual allegations for years. Which makes us wonder why Bobby Kotick is still the CEO of Activision Blizzard. Even though he lied to the fucking board, they're still like, they were deadlocked. Or it was like a 6-5 vote of confidence for him. It's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And I think it was Kotaku. Someone put out an article about like every one of the board members that actually voted for him and like who they were. And they're all fucking money people. Obviously, they don't give a shit about anything else. But both
money,
Nintendo
old men.
And an old woman too.
Well, okay, because they're not looking at that. They're not even paying attention. They're just like, how are my earnings? Am I part of my investment here? They were up. Fantastic.
How are your earnings now, though? They're not.
Exactly.
Great.
Exactly.
No. Nintendo and Microsoft both have sent internal memos admonishing what's going on in Activision. However, none of them have said anything out in public. And it finally came out around this time that former co-lead Jen O'Neill, the one that left to go to the women gaming nonprofit thing, says that she was only offered equal pay to her male counterpart after she turned in her resignation, which further shows that apparently they didn't get the memo on what it was that they needed to fix inside Activision Blizzard. Bobby Kotick came out saying to the board that he would think about resigning if the measures that they've put in place don't work.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I'll resign if I stop smacking women on the ass.
I'll think about resigning.
I'll think about it.
If we can
resigning.
get these people to stop being assholes.
myself included.
Yes. I mean, he's not
Wow.
actually going out and smacking people in the ass.
So
However,
far.
he
That we know
knew
of. Yeah.
about the sexual allegations for years and kept them from the board and didn't do anything. Going back to what we were talking about before, of where they were making people stay quiet during the walking out of these higher ups that were actually being fired for these things, while they then applauded those higher ups for all the work that they did. So
That's crazy.
they had to sit back and be quiet about the allegations and not say anything about it. Like, HR and the company were telling you to do this, rather than like, oh my God, he's leaving. He was so fucking amazing. He's the greatest person in the world. He did so many great things for us. We're going to miss you. Instead of doing what you should have done, which is going, he got fired. There were reasons, bad reasons. We can't talk about it.
Yep.
You know.
I mean, when the board's voting a certain way, your kind of hands are tied, and that'll all come out. Maybe there's more to this. I wonder if they're trying to like run something to the ground to like get some hedging out of the way or something like that, or they have like some other.
It could be.
Like, hey,
they
we
could be
destroy
waiting for it to
Activision
go so
Blizzard.
bad that they can file Chapter 11 and shit, so that then they could possibly, you file bankruptcy and then maybe not be able to be sued for all of these things.
Yep.
Although your insurance is probably gonna fucking cover it anyways, you fucking douchebags. But yeah, it's like, who knows some of the things that are going on. I mean, money people always have these big brain things that they're always thinking of and everything like that when it comes to what they can do to fuck over people. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's the case. So yeah, good times,
Fun.
everybody.
Yeah.
Good times. I
great.
think that's the last of the bad. Yeah, we're gonna get one more bad thing out of the way. Streamlabs stole marketing and an actual website layout, verbiage, and pictures from Lightstream, reigniting a light on them for being a shitty company and just stealing shit and charging people for it. So, Lightstream is it's a cloud-based setup that allows you to stream your Xbox and PlayStation directly to Twitch without having to have a computer, which works really well. Streamlabs came out with their thing, which Twitch partnered with them to launch it, and when Streamlabs popped up their website, it was literally the exact same layout, the exact same verbiage, and even the exact same photos in a lot of cases as what Lightstream had. And then they apologized, going, oh, that was all placeholders. Sorry. This was our real one, and then put that one up. Which is great, though, because then it reminded...
Placeholders.
Yeah. In a oh, is this your first time type thing from the memes, OBS like retweeted the tweets from Lightstream saying like, oh yeah, I remember when we made this open source software program and Streamlabs came out and was using our name, and we decided to not sue them for it, and we tried to work with them to make sure that everything was going good, and now they've fucked everything over, and people still still confuse us with Streamlabs. We get all these irate customers from their crappy software that is doing nothing but stealing free software and adding a skin to it and then charging people for the shit.
Well, yeah, and it was like, they asked us, do you mind us using like the OBS? Like, yeah, we'd free not to.
Yeah.
Okay,
cool. We're gonna do it
anyways.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks, bud.
Cool,
Good talk.
thanks.
And yes, it does run like garbage compared to OBS in a lot of cases, because it does use up a lot more resources because of the skin. If anybody's heard us talk about how shitty using an Android device is that has a skin tacked on top of it, like the One UI that Samsung uses, or any of the other ones that have been out there for years, they run so dog ass slow because that UI takes up so much processing power, which is what Streamlabs does. But it also then sparked a bunch of prominent streamers that are on their website, like Pokemon and a couple others, to say, you need to fix your shit or I'm dumping them and sending you a letter to take my likeness off of your website. Which is good. hopefully they fix some stuff. They probably aren't though. And people, this will get swept under the rug. People will forget about it. The nice thing is that I know a lot of people that have finally been like, I really do need to switch from Streamlabs to OBS and not support a shitty company that is just riding on the backs of open source stuff and stealing other stuff too. But that's beside the point. So that is, I think, our worst stuff. Let's go on to good, but I'm going to add a bad twist to it. Apple has announced self-service repairs for iPhones, allowing you, yes, you, that's right, you, to go out and buy parts to repair your iPhone yourself, which is great. The right to repair is a big hot button that's out there, and Apple was like, you know what? We're going to jump on the bandwagon and not jump on the bandwagon. We're going to lead the bandwagon, and we're going to jump out ahead of this and allow it in there. Oh, they're not? Oh, that's right. PCs have been doing it for years. That's right. Oh, yeah. But also remember, people, that while Apple thinks you're finally smart enough to repair your own phones, they still think that you're too stupid to be able to sideload your own apps onto your fucking phone. See that callback to the last podcast? I love that it happened like within the 2-week span, and I'm just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, you come out and say people are basically too dumb to allow them to sideload stuff. Here, buy parts. And the only reason that they're doing it is that they probably have giant disclaimers up on the site that are like, actually no, they probably don't. It's very small ones that say your warranty is 100% voided if you do this. Yep. We will not fix anything. We will not do anything. Fuck you.
Yeah, go fuck yourself because you didn't use one of our geniuses who would have done pretty much the same thing that you're doing. Google it.
And then, charge you an entirely new phone for it.
Yep, exactly. And, you know, I still am in the hot seat of just like, I don't understand how Apple, you know, the jokes of just like, this is the same fucking phone have been around since the iPhone 6. Like, it's just like, and here we are, like, you know, years later, still making the same jokes about them being behind in technology compared to some Android phones, on being way more restrictive, not nearly as customizable, obviously non-repairable until like barely now. And it's just like, how and why are people still just like, fuck yeah, I got to get that newest iPhone? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand that mentality. I don't get it.
It's the same thing that I always laughed about, because iPhone, for the longest time, had, Apple for the longest time had the Think Different slogan, and they still used it even when they became the mainstream set. And it's like, think different, like everyone else. Like, you're following the bandwagon of like everybody else. It's like, no, yeah, it's better and it's different than what you get, and all you're listening to is marketing. That's what it's been for years.
Yeah, propaganda, marketing, whatever.
Yeah, propaganda is marketing.
Right.
The difference is that it's marketing
to
with
murder.
a spin. Yeah, I'm not going to make any analogies. I've already gotten enough flack for some of the stuff that I've said on Cutscene, because the anime painted a certain person in a kind of good light. Not doing it. All right.
Because you love him, Eric.
I do not.
That you can't...
I do not. I do not, people. No. I do not. All I'm saying is the anime version of him wasn't that bad. Real life version, total dick.
Hey, you know what? Unrelated. Happy Hanukkah to you, y'all. Literally unrelated.
Right. Yesterday was the beginning of Hanukkah. Sunday. I know.
What's going on right now?
Wait. Yeah, I know, because I was out watching the Michigan-Ohio State game on Saturday with a friend of mine, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Hanukkah starts tomorrow." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, you gotta give like the presents to your kid now," because he's Catholic or Christian, I forget, but the wife is Jewish, so they celebrate both. I'm like, that fucking lucky kid. Except for the fact that Hanukkah you get like underpants and socks and shit like that for some of the presents, because that's actually like what it's supposed to be. It's like certain days are supposed to be practical gifts. It's like, ow. 8 days of presents.
No, ow. As a 37-year-old man, I like open up a present if it's new socks. I'm just like, fuck yeah.
As a 9-year-old boy, though,
yes,
not so much.
Like, no.
As a 9-year-old boy, I had like 2 pairs of pants that I would wear and nothing else. So when I would get new ones, they had to be the exact same like look and color that my parents would then knock me out and then hot switch on me, so that I would continue to wear them and not have any idea. So no, I enjoy new pants a lot.
We don't have to do that. We just take the clothes out of the fucking bin, out of his drawers. Like, here you go. Like, all right, boom, done. Done. They're gone. Here's your new ones. Have fun, dude.
The hole in my underwear grew back, mommy. It sure did, sweetie. It sure did.
I mean, thankfully, he doesn't wear through them that quickly. That usually outgrows them before that starts happening. But there are some shirts that it's like we throw them for a second wash, and then all of a sudden there's a giant fucking hole because the stitching just popped on the side and in the armpit. I'm like, well, good thing that's a sleep shirt. No one gives a shit if there's a giant hole in the sleep shirt, right? Right. Oh man. Okay. Next, let's talk about witchcraft, black magic, and voodoo. Like, honestly, NVIDIA has now launched an AI-based text-to-image tool where you type words and it will make an image for you. And you can like continually type more words and it will keep adding things to it. And it doesn't look like it's like made up. It actually does a really good job of interfacing everything. However, they also have a tool that you can download on your computer called NVIDIA Canvas, which is straight up fucking black magic.
Oh, yeah.
We were playing with it for a solid 2 days, just sending screenshots back and forth and sending the final images. But the screenshots do it justice because basically you choose between the like 16 different colors, which are different parts of terrain. Excuse me. Different parts of terrain that you have. And then you just make squiggles with the colors. Sky. Here's a mountain, here's some grass, here's a cliff, here's a waterfall, and it fucking makes a real-ass image.
Yeah. So
and it's scary.
Your doodle looks like a 4-year-old probably did or something like that. Like,
yeah, it makes paint quality.
Bullshit, yeah.
Just horrible. And it's like, oh, here's like this realistic-looking terrain.
Yeah, here's realistic, like where it's just like this would be like the background of like instruction pamphlet or something like that.
Yeah.
For or travel pamphlet for you to be like,
quotes.
Look at examples. Yeah, exactly. Inspirational quotes. Yeah, Jack Handy could have quotes all over this shit, all over the place. And it would take nothing to make.
Oh man, yeah, get some good Jack Handy quotes on there. The only problem is that the output is low.
Mm-hmm.
It's not super high resolution, so you can't even actually make like a good desktop backdrop with it. If I go to my downloads, God, I'm trying to remember exactly how. Where do I?
That's why I said like the background of like a pamphlet, because like somewhere you don't need to like look at high res detail. Like if you had it like in the background of like your D&D character sheet, that'd be totally
something
fine.
Small, because the resolution, like it's only a 310K file. Like the resolution is not very big.
For now. Eventually you're going to be able to make this a lot bigger, obviously, but
yeah, it's 512 by 512 is the output. There you go. Oh shit. It's the image size that you can upload to Twitch.
They knew what they were doing.
Oh,
they knew.
Combining those things is we could make like, speaking of like the inspirational quotes thing, is putting our Twitch quotes on these images.
Oh my god, I don't want to go back through our Twitch quotes and see what that says, because there's some ones that shouldn't be in print. That's the worst part about Twitch quotes is you like say it and you're like, that shouldn't be written down, and then someone's like, do 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 quote.
Quote. Yep.
You're like, oh,
Looking at you, Pula.
oh fuck yeah, Pula. One of our Twitch mods is Pula. Oh, there we go. Quote number 35. I will feat you. I will feat you all day by Jason.
I still will.
Hang on, let's see what quote 42 is. Bulldog, come look at my butt. I can see my own butt. That's by me. So, yeah. Welcome to Twitch Quotes, everybody. All right, let's see here.
My God.
Epic acquired Harmonix, everybody. If you don't remember who Harmonix is, they're the people behind Rock Band and Guitar Hero and stuff like that. And guess what? They bought them to make more content for Fortnite.
That game needs, Rock Band in it. Fortnite Rock Band. If there's any game anymore, like...
It's part of the whole
Fortnite,
metaverse thing. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, I mean, Fortnite to me is now becoming, in my opinion, what I think PlayStation at home was supposed to be like.
With guns.
Whereas just like with guns. I mean, PlayStation at
home. No,
that's
what PlayStation at home was supposed to be, with guns.
Yeah. And then it just keeps adding on more and more crap to it that like dilutes what this game actually is. But if you can keep making 5-year-olds come back, be like, hey, there's something else for me to do. You know what? You're winning. You're making money. Who gives a shit, right? Type thing. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're doing here.
Very solid point. But yeah, I mean, we don't know exactly to what extent it is that they're going to be doing. Are they going to be adding Rock Band into Fortnite? Like, who knows?
They have in-game concerts, so they...
I mean, they do.
Logical step.
In-game karaoke concerts.
Play along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, play along.
Oh, play along would actually be kind of cool. Like, play along with them as they perform. Like, there's a lot of things that they could do. And again, they're, like, Epic is also part of, like, the whole movement of, like, we want to make the metaverse. It's like, when you have multiple people trying to make the metaverse, that's going to make it very hard for the metaverse to actually come to be. Because you're going to end up with a whole bunch of different code all over the place that's not going to interact with each other. That could be a problem. But
where have I heard that before? Someone else at Epic was involved with interactive code being all over different platforms, having a hard time making that all kind of cohesive across different players. Interesting. I wonder if they're going to run into anything like that again.
Are you actually asking this question, or do you remember what it is and you're just being facetious?
I'm being facetious. It's with Epic being involved with in between the Google Play and Android app stores, or not Android, iOS app stores, and where I could see them kind of getting into the same thing. It was just like, yeah, we're making our own metaverse with blackjack and hookers, and if
and blow.
Facebook wants to be a part of that and blow, well, no, Facebook will have the blow. Let's be honest here, and
no, Facebook will have the blowing. Epic will have the blow.
Facebook does blow. Period.
Yes.
And you can take that however way you want because it's both true. The fact of the matter will be that we'll have all these different services and stuff like that, and they'll be spread across everywhere. But at the end of the day, you still want people to be able to access your platform. So it'll be all coming down to who's going to allow who to have what. Can you sign in with your Facebook profile to get into Epic and vice versa still, all that jazz like that. And it'll be interesting to see when they actually do compete. I don't even know what it's going to be, but until we all get our eyes replaced with retinal readers and all that jazz like that, I'm not too worried about it.
You just have balls on the brain, son. Thanks, Chris, for quote number 69.
Pretty good one for quote 69.
That is a pretty good one for quote 69. That's true. All right, BattleNet was DDoSed on 11/24, prompting the question of what took you so long, Internet? I honestly would have thought that this would have been one of the first things to fucking happen. But BattleNet actually went down for roughly about 24 hours, I think it was, because they got DDoSed so hard.
You don't need to worry about DDoSing a platform that constantly has no problem being down itself by default.
True.
like that's like we should DDoS Battle.net. You're right, we totally should. Let's jump on there. Oh, it's down right now.
We can't DDoS.
Oh,
it.
fuck.
It's down.
Can't DDoS because it's down. Well,
that's like the thinker meme.
yeah.
Can't DDoS us
Can't
if we're
DDoS.
always down.
Exactly. Can't take down. It's already down. Huh? That's right.
Oh my
Wait, we're
God.
2 steps ahead of you and two firm grabs on your breast ahead of you as well. It's great.
We're already behind you, on your butt.
Oh, booty. All right.
A firm, calming, open hand slap to the ass, letting you know that you've done a good job.
Thanks, coach.
Put me in, coach.
All right.
Which one? I don't know.
It's not getting picked up, Jason. No matter how much you try, NVIDIA broadcast is too good.
No. That was just for your pleasure. Eric.
Oh, that's just my
all.
visual pleasure.
It was just for your visual.
All right, Nintendo is preparing to drop what could be the final Smash Brothers Ultimate patch. Their official Twitter has said that it will have the final balance adjustment. So now that Sora is out, and that's all the characters that Sakurai has said that they're doing for Smash Brothers Ultimate, they're doing a final balance adjustment, and then that's it. Which is great that it coincides with the first actual sanctioned fucking Nintendo like actual tournament that's not a 2-day long like E3 thing. So they're doing a full-on tournament that we talked about before, and I guess they're not fully supporting anymore. What is it with Nintendo and not supporting?
They don't know what they
games. It's they really don't, because Animal Crossing is pretty much done now.
Yep.
Like they're not doing any more updates or anything like that for it. Which
It boggles my mind.
fine.
Yeah, it's not fine. It also boggles my mind that they're like, hey, we're not going to update this game anymore. Oh, by the way, here's this DLC, but we don't give a fuck anymore. Which is just like, okay, why am I going to buy this then? And then it's just like, and it's not just that game. It's like almost every single game. I mean, once they're done with their DLCs, they stop. Like, I mean, Zelda is a bad example because it's single player. I mean, there's not much you're going to be doing to really do anything in there, but it's just like so many games are just like, yeah, you know what? We're moving on to the next bigger and better. But it's not like you guys are cranking out shit like so rapid fast either. I don't know. There must be some reason. I think
Have they
like
not
first
learned
party,
from,
they
like,
must have
Rockstar?
like a core. They must have a core group.
They should learn
that
from
they-
Rockstar, actually. Rockstar just keeps churning out like update after update onto games, and they just keep selling them. It's like, if you want them to be evergreen titles, as Nintendo calls them, then you should keep putting in content to keep them evergreen. That's the whole reason. That's the only reason that they justify still charging $60 for a fucking game that's been out for 3.5 years. Whereas Sony and Microsoft all like continue to support some games and keep doing updates, but then they drop them into greatest hits things.
I think for them, what they're trying to do is just really drive home the fact that it's just like, hey, remember Mario, the first one in the NES days, where you jump on in there and it's the same great shit, and there's no updates for that game since then, and stuff like that. But we made such a solid game that we don't care anymore. That's kind of, I think, what they're going for. They're going for like we made this game, we consider this game to be final print copy done. It's art hanging on the wall, Jim. It's done. And that's why it's what you pay for all the time. Right? That's not really how things work anymore.
Yeah.
The day and age, and that's what I agree. I don't think they know what they're doing with that, and I get what they're saying with that. It was just like, hey, you know what, our Mario game, best Mario game I've ever made. It's just like, it's not, but thank you for this Mario game. I'd love to play it someday. How much do you want for it? No, fuck you. I don't care. Like, it's just like, not the day and age. I mean, if they were the balls to the wall, if they were like the bleeding edge, like it was just like, hey, this bad boy runs Crisis, like it's just like, we're good, type thing. I mean, obviously I'm just joking with Crisis, but I mean, like, if it was like the bleeding edge, the top of the line, it's just like there's nothing else that can even match this, by all means, absolutely. But when it's just like, hey, I remember playing this game 10 years ago, but why am I still paying $60 for it. That just it bugs me. It bugs me so much.
There's a lot of things Nintendo is very, very late to the club on. They were the last console to have... Do what?
Emulation.
Oh yeah, that's one of them, and that leads us to the next thing that I was going to talk about as well. But they were the last console company to get rid of cartridges, and then they brought them back with the Switch. However, there's an argument that really there's no other way that you can have a physical medium for a portable platform than a cartridge. They also have the worst fucking store out of the big three, and it's not that it's hard to navigate. It's okay. It works all right. Sony's has its days where it's just like it just stops working for some reason on their website. But the store on the actual console works great. Store on the Switch console works all right, but they haven't put a fucking cart in yet. Sony, Microsoft, they're like, "Hey, you want to buy games? Here you go. Like, add these to your cart. Add this to your cart. Buy 6 games, go for it. Do that." Nintendo's like, you only need to buy one game at a time, right? You don't need to buy multiple games ever. Like, at all.
The only game
right?
you need.
Yeah, it's just one game at a time. That's it. That's all you need. Which would be perfectly fine, except that if you did want to buy 3 games, and they were all the same price, which is what they are, $59.99, you're going to cause a fraud alert on your credit card, because that's how credit cards work, people.
It goes more into Nintendo trying to be like the Neiman Marcus of stores. Like, you don't go to a fine art dealer and be like, "I would like to buy 8 copies of art, please." Like, that's not what they're doing.
I want to buy
they're like, "Hey,
Picassos.
no." Exactly. It's just like you just don't do it, and then you have like your pretentious little guy following you around with the white gloves, being like, "More champagne," and instead though you have instead you have the little 8-bit Mario jumping around hitting hammer blocks and being like, "Hey, you want to do anything with your platinum points and your coins and stuff like that? Too damn bad. We don't give a fuck about them. You get a cent for everyone. You're an idiot for using these." So it's just like, I can see what they're trying to do. Like, they're just like, "Hey, yeah, we get it. You're not here to spend all your money on anything, and the games you buy, you're gonna play and really enjoy." Like I feel like that they're trying to be like, you're going in and you're buying like a bottle of wine and just slam it in front of the sommelier, and you're just like, "Oh God, no!" Buy one, you go and enjoy it.
I mean, that's not to say
multiple.
That when they finally came late to the market with online play and having an actual online system, that the Switch Online wasn't a great value. I mean, it's $20 for a year, whereas like you had to pay for Xbox Live at that point, which was like $50 a year. So they still had a good price on that, and then they shoot themselves in the foot with this fucking expansion thing that they've got for the expansion pass for Switch Online, which is fucking ridiculous. We've already talked about that. It's bullshit. But they don't know what it is that they want to do. They're a very schizophrenic company when it comes to things, and it really shows in a lot of the stuff that they've done lately. I mean, look at even the fact, like, we haven't talked about it. Nintendo is closing all of their offices except for Redmond in America.
Wow. Yeah. I mean,
same thing in Canada. They're closing down their extra offices there, and they're moving everything to Edmonton, I think it is. They're localizing Nintendo of America and Nintendo of Canada into 2 distinct offices, which has completely lost a bunch of employees. They had a lot of really good employees that were down in California that they looked at and they're like, "Hey, you know what? Here's your option. Severance package, move to Seattle," which is getting just as bad as living in California now, as far as cost of living goes. And those are the options that they gave them. For a family-oriented company. Hey, you and your 5 kids. Everyone pick up, move to Seattle.
Company is a part of that. You're not highlighting.
Oh no, yeah, no, it's. Yep. Oh no, I get that. I'm saying for a family-oriented company, there's some really bad mistakes going on.
The thing that boggles my mind the most is just like I mentioned a minute ago, is the handling of emulation, on how piss poor they're doing this. Yes, they've brought in some classics into the Switch and stuff like that. Lottie fucking da. And I know that they have high standards of whatever quality they want. Their N64's emulations say a different thing, but It's just like I get that they're not wanting to just embrace that hardcore. But if you think about it, Nintendo owns the rights to so many old school games now with Sega. I think they have Intellivision under them as well and stuff like that. They could make like a whole arcade gambit, like go nuts. If they just did even like a fucking Game Pass version of emulation, it was just like, hey, play this on your phone, your Switch, or your computer, and that's it. Right? You can't play on the Xbox, can you? You can still have your exclusivity and shit like that. And be like, it's $20 a month, and you're gonna have 1,800 games that are all ready to go, and you have headhunter like benefits, which is like, hey, if you find a game, if you play a game, and you find a bug or something with the emulation that doesn't work, submit a ticket to us, and if we can verify it, we're going to give you credit, or we're going to give you headhunter points. And then you can have like a whole like achievement list
Bounty
for it
points.
and all kinds of bullshit. But yeah, oh yeah. You could have like a whole gambit of
Smack on
people
the ass.
paying you to fix your fucking emulation. And then you have the golden emulation of where in 50 years from now, when all of us are old and gray sitting in like our retirement chairs being like, God damn, all I want to do is play some fucking Earthworm Jim. I will pay thousands of dollars to do it because I'm old and rich now. Give it to me. You can be like,
Not
guess
gonna
what,
run
you
it."
dumbass rich motherfucker? Here's goddamn Earthworm Jim 1 and 2. Go play it to your heart's content. That'll be $5,000. And I'll be like, I don't give a shit. I have more money than sense. Let's do it. And they're instead just be like, no, we're going to release like 5 games at a time. They're going to be like mostly games you have no fucking idea ever existed. And then maybe 1 or 2 of them you'll really like. You'll play for 5 minutes and then be like, that was dumb. I'm glad I don't play that anymore. Have the system. Have the company there so people can play it. Because what they want are the games you're not putting out there. You're just not doing it. And it's just because you're unwilling to. It boggles my mind. It boggles my mind.
I mean, it definitely does. And it goes back to what we talked about on the last podcast about how they finally got Gary Bowser, not to be confused with Doug Bowser, their CEO, at all. They finally got him, and he pled guilty to stealing from Nintendo because of running an emulation website. But, as Jason said about us, when we're going to be old and when we're going to be wanting our emulation, you know who we're going to actually be able to thank for that most likely? Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer has gone on the record saying that he backs the legalization of emulation for older games as a form of damn it, I had the word and then it popped out of my head, as a form of history, basically, as like museums and whatnot. Like, they want emulation to be out there. They want people to do it, and they want the older games to actually be done on that, because the mediums are going to be fucking gone. Like, everybody's using a medium. Discs don't have like an infinite lifespan on them. Cartridges definitely don't have an infinite lifespan. If the CMOS batteries that was in the original NES cartridges told you anything for it, that was the reason why you would lose the ability to save, because they all had CMOS batteries in them, which are normally what's found in like a fucking watch or on your computer's motherboard, or your head.
Hearing aid. You can have those big.
Oh, they had those. Oh, yeah. But those are
yeah.
That's another form of them. Hearing aid battery is the smaller version of them. But like the standard battery that was in an NES cartridge was the CR2032, which is the same one that's in like your motherboard on your computer, and that's all that they had to store the data. But that media is going to go away. It's going to die. We need to have that information stored, and Phil Spencer is backing it, which is probably the first big name in the video game industry to actually come out and say it, because I don't even think that Valve is going to come out and say it. Is Gaben going to say anything?
Of course not, because that would require them to spend more than 2 seconds on anything.
Yes.
And they don't like 3.
No, 3 seconds.
No more than 2.
That will require him to
He won't
spend
say
exactly 3 seconds on it. You know that if he spent 3 seconds on it, he could come up with a solution. Valve could do it, but they just can't do it. All right, Sony has finally received a patent for their faceplates. That's right. The reason why they've been suing everybody is because apparently on November 5th of 2020, they filed a patent for the faceplates, and it finally got approved in the last week or so. So a little over a year. So now, yeah, you can't make your own faceplates for the PS5 unless they're different. In which case, the Dark Plates ones are still up. So who knows if that's valid enough for it. Let's see here. There are 20 unlisted games that you can play on Game Pass for the PC, everybody. You could go out and you can find them, and it's really easy to do it. The only problem is that you have to have EA Player Origin in order to get to them and see them.
Well, I mean, if you're playing any EA game, even with Game Pass, you have to have fucking EA Play on there.
Yeah,
anyway.
every time that I see those...
There's EA...
Yeah, but every
EA
time I see
games,
those
EA
ones,
Play
I look at them, I'm like, yep, nope, not worth downloading that. Like, EA Play and Origin are both so fucking bad. And they're so bad on your computer. It is just wretchedly horrible, the bloatware that they are. So I don't even touch them. But there are games that are not listed as free that if you have EA Player Origin on your computer and you want to look at them, you got Game Pass, go in and you can find them. They're there, and you can play them.
I found them. And then this article came out, I'm like, oh yeah. That's the thing I found out when I went looking for Medal of Honor Allied Assault.
In funny news, Farming Simulator 2022, but it's 22, has sold more copies and has had more sustained players on Steam than Battlefield 2042.
God, it's been such a cluster.
The game is bad. Has tons of issues. One of the best ones that I found, the most humorous, was that they forgot to add collision to some buildings. So
yeah, that was funny.
If you did it, like, you can actually see the GIF of them doing it. You can hide a helicopter inside a building, shoot out at people, like target on them and shoot out, and then people wouldn't know where the fuck you are until they decided to attempt to fly into a building. Not to mention the whole hovercrafts being able to go up the sides of buildings and so many fucking problems.
Consoles have it way worse too. I mean, I'm listening to a bunch of my buddies who are playing it. They both still, to be fair, they enjoy playing the game, but there's tons of problems on consoles that no one's covering in the news. That is really bad. And the PC is just like you just said, it seemed to not be a ghost town, but it just seems to be that there's just not the player count behind it anymore. And they're just looking at the release behind it. I mean, fuck, since what, 5? I just have had zero desire. 4 to me was fun. I enjoyed 4.
Yeah, 4 was good.
Going back to 1, because they then did Battlefield 1, which was in World War 1, and that was okay. I was alright with that one, but 4 was just, to me, the epitome of Battlefield, of newer ones. Obviously 1942 and going back in the day, fantastic. But Battlefield 4 was fantastic. But then 5 was shit, and now this one, I just watched them play. I was just like, zero desire. I have no desire to play this, and the fact that they're just not putting anything behind it, it's just, I'm so sick and tired.
They have put out sorry, Chris, I don't mean to interrupt. They have put out a plan to fix the issues, but fuck, that's a lot of issues.
These need to be free to play until you
Chris wanted to say.
I know. I keep sorry.
So for the lead up to it, I'm like, all right, kind of cool, but kind of, and then oh, Portal, that looks kind of interesting, but and now everything's kind of, I'm still just I don't know. I definitely don't want to pay $60 for this.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn sure.
I mean, it just goes back to the thing. Don't pre-order games. Don't buy them, unless you know for a fact this is going to be a thing that you're just going to be balls to the wall on, or, single player games seem to be at least slightly less impacted by it. Cyberpunk. But, you should definitely, don't pre-order games. Just don't pre-order games. Yeah. Stop it.
Which, going back to the whole EA Play Xbox Game Pass thing, so you get EA Play through Xbox Game Pass for PC or Ultimate. I don't think you get with the console version, but if you go on there, you can get 10 hours of game time.
That's all you need. That's actually 10 times the amount of what you need to realize that.
Which is hey, 10 hours. That's plenty of time to see if you want to drop $60 on it.
It's plenty of time to realize you don't want to spend $60 on it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Let's see here. In fun tech news, actually astonishing tech news. Japan has successfully broken the world record by double now for internet speed at 319 terabytes per second.
Now it'll
That's a
only
lot of
take
hentai.
50,000 years to download all of Pornhub.
Probably. What's really great about this is most tests for internet speeds and data transmission are run over very small, like closed off networks that's like just large enough for you to be able to for it to be considered a non-internet. They did it on an 1,864 mile run of cable.
Yeah, pre-existing cable.
Pre-existing cable, which is insane. That is, like I said, it was more than double the previous record, which was set back in 2020, and is better than, like, as far as like metrics go, than any other system that's like has been done for all of these, which is awesome. Bravo. We're not going to get any of those speeds anytime soon, but especially
God,
here in
no.
the States,
God,
no.
Yeah.
But
We still pay out the butt for insulin. What makes you think they're going to give us free internet? God fucking no, they're not going to give us that speed.
Nope.
that reminds me to tell everybody again that we blasted through a half a terabyte's worth of bandwidth in 24 hours doing our extra live stream on November 6th.
We did.
Just like the reason.
And then Forza came out, and it was like 100 gigabyte download. I was like, fuck.
Guess I'm paying that $50 extra for unlimited data cap. Fucking cocks. All right. Let's see here. Who out there would like to pay $700 for the ultimate driving experience? Because you can, if you want to buy Fanatec's Gran Turismo DD Pro steering wheel and pedal system, which I showed it to my wife earlier, and she was like, "Why?" I'm like, "Well, like some of it's like super over engineered. It's all metal. There's carbon fiber in it." And I'm like, nobody should pay this much for a fucking steering wheel for a goddamn game. I'm sorry.
First
Well,
of all,
it's a dirt drive,
if
so
it's like Chris,
that's
it would
actually
just
pretty
sit in the
cheap.
room, not set up.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty good price for it. Dirt drives are not cheap.
What I want to know is, can you play that mech game with it? What was that mech game that came with that gargantuan ass fucking
God, shit.
battle? No, not Mech Warrior. It was one that it was made just.
It wasn't
for
BattleTech.
No, it wasn't BattleTech.
Oh,
It was its
God.
Rigs.
No, it's not,
Not
Riggs. No,
Riggs.
we're
Riggs
talking.
was the VR one.
We're talking old. We're talking
Xbox
old.
One.
It wasn't Mech Assault, was it? Was it
No,
Mech
it wasn't Mech
Assault?
Assault. No, I don't think it's Steel Battalion.
Steel Battalion. That's it. Yep, there we go. Like I just pulled up my Xbox Mech game controller. Which, if you haven't seen the Steel Battalion fucking controller, whoo doggy, that thing came
You
in
needed
a
this.
fucking box. Like it came
was
in the
bigger than
same
the
size
console.
box as Rock Band came in, and Rock Band had a fucking digital drum set. That's how big
thing
this
was
box was. I
insane.
remember when they came in, and did we get like two
Foot
of them at
pedals.
comp?
Yep, I remember looking at it. That
Yeah,
was
we got,
all
like,
we had foot pedals, two joysticks, throttle, a billion different buttons.
Oh,
Oh, a nuke option
definitely
too.
need
That's
this.
crazy.
Oh my god,
yes.
no, I found. All right, $700.
Steel Battalion was fun too.
$700 for a direct drive controller, like steering wheel set for the PlayStation, or $200 for a fucking railway sim desktop controller. Levers, like it's got 5 different levers, twisting knobs, a shit ton of buttons down below. Like, you want the actual like ultimate train driving experience? That thing right there, the Rail Driver USB desktop train cab controller.
Hell yeah.
I wonder how much that old rig that we tried out at E3 like a couple years back, where it actually tilted and shit like that.
The Forza
I wonder
one?
how much that would be. I don't think it would. No, well,
They're
not
like-
the Forza one. No, it was one of the cheaper ones.
Oh, that
was
one
like
was
the-
$1,500.
And that was like
1,200
6 years
for
ago.
just the seat. And actually, that
Right.
was 1,200 for just the base that actually did the movements, and then you had to have a seat that went with it. Then you had to buy a controller, a steering wheel, and pedals. And I think Chris's computer blue screened on him. Either that or he's dumbfounded by this conversation right now. One of the two is happening. I have a feeling, though, that I'm going to need to change my overlay to be a 2-person any second. But the Rail Driver USB, man, that thing, oh shit, it's got a bell. It's got an alert button. Oh my goodness. This thing is awesome. It even allows you to operate the switches for the tracks, everybody. This thing is great. I'm honestly just filling time until Chris pops out of our Zoom call so that I can get rid of it. All right.
I'm still liking it.
You should look this up. This thing is insanely hilariously awesome. Like it's got everything that you think that you would need for running a train sim. All right, next, CD Projekt Red explains the problems that they faced in making Cyberpunk 2077. There it goes.
There it goes.
Yep, there. All right, now it's just
There
the two
goes
of us.
Chris. He's dead now.
And spoiler alert, it's exactly what we fucking thought was the problem. At least it's what I thought was the problem and what we've talked about, and I'm pretty sure Jason was on the same page as me, is that there was way too much fucking story option. And they finally got into it, and they're like, oh yeah, this one little conversation with this guy that you had to go to like 2 different places took more to develop than the entire fucking parade that we had in the game. Because it's like, yeah, you have to develop all these like textures and everything like that for all the items in the parade and all the lighting effects and everything like that. But you have to be able to juggle 6 different ways that you could progress about this one tiny side mission. Do you talk with the guy? Do you go with him? Do you not go with him? Do you talk with him but then go without him, then meet up at a different spot? Like, they had all these individual like little things that they had to go through and fix and figure out. That's one of the biggest problems. They bit off way more than they could chew with this, and I figured it was as much. I still applauded them for wanting to take the game on, but fuck. Like,
it's still a pretty game too.
It is,
and the storyline is dope if you play it one specific way. But yeah, the technical problems, all just like that. I already alluded to them earlier today about being a big problem of the reason why you don't pre-order. You just don't, because I mean, I at least do have faith that CD Projekt Red will continue to work on it and will eventually make the game. I mean, they've made multiple promises saying that
they sold a shit ton of copies over Black Friday.
They did.
They sold the game
and they're
for
like,
$10.
we'll make it good.
Yep.
We'll make it good. We'll make it good. We promise we'll make it good. Just stand by, and all that jazz like that. Here he comes, Chris.
Here he comes. He's coming in.
Until it happens.
Yeah. So, Chris,
back,
you
buddy.
had the best froze frame face that you could possibly have. You looked so fucking stupid. It was great. It was awesome. All right. So we talked about it on a couple of podcasts because it had been alluded to. After the last podcast, probably about 2 days, DC Multiversus is real, and DC Warner Brothers actually showed off video or like footage of the game in action. One of the coolest, or two of the coolest things about it is that it actually includes Ultra Instinct Shaggy, meaning that the internet finally memed something into existence. And they are going to have Kevin Conroy voice Batman, and I think I remember hearing Tim Daly was going to come back and voice Superman, who was the old Superman in the animated series. Kevin Conroy he's like the fucking voice of Batman. Like, I don't care what you say. Best Batman that there is. Did all the Batman animated stuff for a long ass fucking time. Just like Mark Hamill is the voice of the Joker.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he is the Joker. No matter what. Like, he's the guy that did the voice for the Joker, so fucking long. And he is the de facto voice of the Joker.
And of the games.
Yeah, and in the games. I attest that one of the funniest things that I've seen is that that like animated short that they did where the Joker and the Trickster take Mark Hamill hostage on his way to San Diego Comic-Con. Because if you don't know, he played the Trickster in the old Flash TV show and then reprised his role as the Trickster. As it was like the Trickster's dad, the original Trickster in the Flash, which was hilarious. But yeah, it looks interesting. It's going to be free to play, which is like very key. They are going to have dedicated servers right off the bat. They're not sharing servers or anything like that. And they are dedicating a team for real-time rollback netcode and solving any major like delay issues or anything like that for it. So they are committed to trying to dethrone Smash Brothers.
Good luck. I mean, this would be the time to do it. I think again, we talked about earlier, Nintendo kind of shit the bed on the Smash Brothers thing too, in my opinion. So this is the time to do it.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's see here. We're almost at the end. Hideki Kamiya, the director of Scalebound, finally talked about what went wrong with Scalebound. So if you don't remember, Scalebound was a game that was announced at 2016. Is that right?
Yep. We were there.
So I'm trying to remember what year it was. It was announced a while ago, and it was the most American/Japanese thing that you could possibly find. It was dragons, big blonde-haired white protagonist with headphones around his neck, like very
Devil May Cry with dragons.
Yeah, very Devil May Cry with dragons with a lot of anime flair mixed in. And Platinum Games apparently bit off more than they could chew. In the interview that he did, he actually apologized to the fan base that was really expecting the game to come out. He said that they bit off more than they could chew. They'd never worked with the Unreal Engine, and they were trying to work with Unreal. And they had never developed a game based around online play, which Microsoft really wanted that game to be ingrained into Xbox Live and have online play, and they'd never done it. And so many issues on their part, not Microsoft's part. And we've talked about this very recently about weird things with Microsoft and canceling games. Microsoft didn't cancel it. Platinum did. Or jointly the two did. Because Platinum came to them and said, we can't do it. Like, we are not the company to be able to do this. And Microsoft probably looked at it and said, well, at this point, we can't like move this to someone else. So we'll just fully cancel it. Which makes a lot of sense at that point. I kind of really wish that information had kind of come out like a long ass time ago instead of many years later, but it kind of shines a light on some of the things that we talked about before.
Game would have been trash anyway.
True. Forza Horizon 5 passed 10 million players in just 1 week. We already talked about it becomes Microsoft's Xbox's best rated game of the year and not nominated for game of the year. Yeah, but Chris, notice I didn't talk about the video game awards at all in this news section. And yet you had to put a plug in for that fucking Jeff Keighley dick sucking fest that there is. No, we're not talking about that. Because the Video Games Award is trash. The reason why they didn't get nominated is because they're trash.
Yep. Highest rated game of the year, not up for game of the year.
I fucking hate Jeff Keighley. All right. Last but not least, I know I like to end on a positive note, but I kind of forgot to do that because I forgot that this little bit was in here. So sorry, everybody. Halo Infinite Co-op has been delayed until May 2022.
That's okay.
That's okay. That fucking sucks. I'm gonna be honest.
It sucks because
I'd really like for them to get it right.
Game.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you play Halo 1 or Halo indefinitely anyway for two reasons. Number one, you're either going to jump into multiplayer right away or you're going to play solo. And your first couple of times you really want to play it, solo, first time. That's really how it's going to be. So, I mean, it being delayed, understandable. It being delayed till May, that does suck.
I hear you on that. However, this is a very open world set. Like, I was actually kind of looking forward to running through the story with somebody else, like 2 or 3 other people, and like playing through and having fun and doing it, and then they can jump in and help out, and we can do all sorts of other fun bullshit that's going on because it is an open world. Like I was really hoping that sandbox was gonna be there for us.
Reach was built with that idea without it being open world, and I don't know. That's just our play styles, I guess. Because when it comes to like, if there's a story, I want to experience the story. I want to take my time. I'm probably the worst player. Like Borderlands is a great example to me. Like Borderlands, I fucking love Borderlands. I'll play through that like a million times. I don't give a shit. My first time, that's all me. Because I'm going to scour every inch of everywhere, looking for loot, looking for everything that I can, looking for hidden shit, listening to every single prompt, listening to all the different voiceful commands. Because just like I want to experience the game, I want to get it all done. Then the second, third, fifth, 800th time I play it through, I'll sprint with you. But then like when I'm playing it my first time, I'm not moving away. If someone's talking to me, I'm talking to them. I'm hanging out. Where like Chris, your brother, for example, is one of the ones we've talked about before. He doesn't give a fuck. He's just like, whatever that next little like emblem shows up, I'm running towards it. That's not me. That's not what I do. And then so I get it. Like unless you can find a bunch of like-minded people like that, I don't know.
And that makes sense. First month, I'd be perfectly fine with that. But 6 months later,
1 or 2 months, understandable. 6 months, that's
hurts.
Tough pill.
It hurts a bit. Yeah. All right. Well, that's news, everybody. We are through the news. It took us about an hour. That's not bad.
That's pretty good.
That's
not too bad.
I think that we're gonna have a pretty light what we're playing section though.
Not me. I played a fuck ton of games.
A fuck ton of new games? Because I played a bunch of games, but nothing really new.
I played all new games. Yeah, I did.
All right. Well, we'll start off. We'll end with you then, Jason. Like that's the big set. So we'll go to Chris, who I know you played a new game.
I did. I played some new games. A couple new games. Some really old games that I haven't talked about before. And some games we have talked about before. But one, I did get a review copy for Myth of Empires, which is like a survival type game, kind of like Valheim or as Brother Andrew, kind of like a Rust. He didn't play it very, very long, but I'm about a few hours into it so far. So you start out, you're basing your kind of where you got nothing. You grab some grass that you get from bushes, there's some sticks and stones off the ground, make some stuff as you kind of do. There's a quest system in there, so there's a lot of little short quests like, hey, do this, collect this grass, make some rope, then do this, build some armor sets or whatever. So a lot of little quick things, so you just kind of knocking those out as you're getting your stuff and kind of building a house. It kind of teaches you that. You level up, like, in like 2 hours, I was already level like 15. So you definitely level up pretty quickly. You can get some points, different skill trees for weapons, mining, wood chopping, proficiency points to kind of speed that up a little bit, unlocking different recipes. That's all kind of there for you. I'm a few hours into this game. I'm not even anywhere near what there is in the trailer for it, but it looks like you can actually build out a guild. Like, should you get some people underneath you, like some NPCs underneath you, do some siege warfare. So the trailer makes it look really awesome. Right now it's again kind of slow, but also kind of quick paced in that you're getting all these quests. Very forgiving so far, unlike Valheim where you're gonna die a lot right off the bat. This one, not so much. So I'm enjoying it a little bit. It's good to just hop in, knock out some quick little quests because they don't really take very long, and just kind of mess around with it. Building seems like a pretty straightforward, a lot easier than, say, Valheim, which I've played plenty of and have talked about. So that's one I did get a review copy for. Another game that got mentioned for review copy, but it's on Xbox Game Pass. I'm like, we're good. We all get that. So that I did on stream. It took me 3 hours to beat, which is XO1, where you're on like these different planets, like around like Jupiter, like the moons, kind of stuff like that, and go through Jupiter, and you're this weird spaceship thing where you're a ball, and then you can become heavy, so you drop down, try to build up speed, and then you can also like kind of find yourself in a glider and just kind of glide or dive down. Very, very beautiful game. The goal is really just to keep going, and you get to this light point and jump and get catapulted off to the next world. So you're looking for a very chill experience. It's definitely there for you. But again, it's kind of like a walking simulator where you just kind of, okay, cool concept with, your spaceship thing. Very light on story. There would be like a little bit like some tech stuff like in between the worlds, but not much there for that. Kind of just, kind of fun for a little bit. And then you're like, all right, cool. Don't think I'm going to play that
Is
one
it
again.
XO or X like 0?
XO1. EXO.
Oh,
space.
okay.
Go on.
XO1.
Yes, XO1.
There we go. The way you were saying it sounded like it was XO1 like that, so that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's 3 hours. Very beautiful game. To get right into that, someone who had just beat it for their second time. Because her boyfriend got it for her, played, and she's like, I gotta share this with people. So then she streamed it, and then ran into us, which she had, I think it was her first time running into us. Like, hey, someone else is playing this game, so.
Did you look at the name
her.
of the developer for this game?
Yes, Expletive.
Yeah. It's a great name. That is a great name for your development studio. I'm sorry. That is awesome. I love it. Expletive. Fuck.
Yes. Yeah, and the end of the game, not to kind of spoil it, did get a little trippy. And both of us are like, what the hell is this game? Like, dude, I don't know, man. I don't know if what I'm doing is right or not. I don't know. I don't know what to
It's
do.
kind of like the airplane game,
Tiny Wings?
I guess.
Is that what you're talking about?
Whatever
So
that
no,
one where you're
do a-
flying an airplane. And it's just a mechanics or like a physics-based like simulator basically.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it
That's-
seems like
yeah,
to me.
Basically what it is, yeah.
World build and physics based, and you're just kind of like flying around and exploring. Like I could see that as being something that could just be fun to play for a few hours here and there.
Yeah. So I did that.
I mean, it's
beat that obviously
pretty.
because 3 hours. It's definitely pretty. It's very pretty.
It's a pretty game. Not gonna lie.
Very pretty game, yeah. And then going back to that Xbox Game Pass EA Play thing, is I jumped into Mass Effect Andromeda.
That's
Game
right. I
that,
forgot about this.
Definitely had its issues.
Oh my god.
I was like, oh, I'll try it out.
I mean, it's free.
Not costing me nothing.
It's
free.
free.
It's not gonna cost
You
me
might as
anything.
well.
Yeah.
It's only costing
So-
you having basically malware on your computer, but
True. And I've been enjoying it. It's Mass Effect, and it's doing this kind of whole new thing. You're in a new galaxy, new characters, so you got kind of new thing there. Obviously, it wasn't a great launch. There's graphical glitches. I haven't ran anything game breaking, but definitely graphical glitches. I got
you'll run
Got
into
over
the
20
game
hours
breaking
into it.
stuff eventually.
yeah.
That much I know
Yeah,
is that
that-
you will run into the game breaking stuff. They did not patch all of that out. They couldn't. It was
No,
it was
'cause I-
that prevalent.
Yeah, I think they just kind of gave up. It's like, nope. So I was like, well, I'll mess around with it. It's enjoyable. And then Steam Autumn Sale has been going on. So part of that, I did pick up Red Dead Redemption 2. So I started playing that for a little bit recently.
Oh,
about-
you got to.
You
play
never
it.
played our
version.
Red Dead Redemption, man?
No, because he didn't have
Damn,
a
dude.
PS4 for us to like hooked up that we could give him that copy.
Yeah.
But he gets to play it with ray tracing.
Yeah, and
Well, the game already fucking looks good, man.
And,
So,
it looks
also-
beautiful with ray tracing, man. I've seen it. That game is
yeah.
amazing.
And kind of the first thing I did after it got downloaded was download Reshade to make it look even better.
I mean, it's fine. The computer can kind of handle it. I mean, it can handle about half a podcast for streaming, so you know,
Yeah.
it can definitely handle that.
Which is weird because that was like this is a new thing that cropped up on Saturday where it just freezes. No blue screen, no reboot, just locks up. I was like,
Oh, so it's now just stopped blue screening. It's finally just gone like, we're not even getting to the blue screen.
yeah. Yeah, Jason was like mid like this.
I'm telling you, man,
It's
yours was
probably
better.
more
You
time.
had this dumbass look on your face, like.
I was like, what is happening? Jason's slowing down. So obviously, yeah, that's one of the older ones I played. The 8-bit Miata, 8-bit MX5, is now in Forza Horizon 5 as a co option you can get, so I did download that, obviously. My buddy Nick from Clean Productions, who made it for me in Forza Horizon 3, recently uploaded it to Forza Horizon 5, so you can, if you search the description 8-bit, you will find it for the NA, I think in the game it's the 94 Mazda Miata. So you can drive it too.
I got to go do it now. I got to
That's
go do
Chris's
it.
car. I am totally gonna
I
get
know.
that though. Now that I can get that Miata, but that is Chris's Miata, pre-putting the IBeatItFirst decal on the side.
Yes.
Yes. So
Which is probably
it's still got the
difficult
original
to-
door decal that
Yep.
he got it with, but that is his Miata. So you can go on, add that skin to your Mazda Miata. That is the best Miata that you can have on the game. Hands
Yes.
down, right there. Roll cage and everything, because it's got a roll cage, everybody.
Yep. Yeah, and then, you know, obviously a little more Goose Goose Duck, played some code names, and tried my hand at Dungeons and Dragons. Old school tabletop style.
Nice,
With
dude.
me. With
Yeah,
me, and it
the
was
one shot with Spooky DMing for her first time because she reached her donation goal for, was it Step Up?
Yes, Spooky does Step Up. We do
So-
Extra Life. Spooky does Step Up.
Yep.
Which ours is for the children. Spooky's is for the vets, and she's active military, so you know, applaud that.
Yep.
She's sticking with what it is that she likes, and I'm totally fine with that. It's like that helps people that she
Also
knows.
a great cause.
Yep.
Yeah, both are honorable, of course.
Yeah. So she DM'd that and played that with you. So with my drunk halfling monk.
Oh, drunk, perverted, halfling monk that constantly wanted to fuck a sheep.
And sometimes apes.
And sometimes apes.
Oh,
yeah.
Chris.
This is honestly what happened. If you go back onto our VOD, because I was streaming it, yeah, this is what happened during that match. We won. There actually was a real... Okay, so that was one of the D&D campaigns, because that was a one-shot that I did too. It's a little long because there were a lot of people like Chris that hadn't played D&D before, so there was a lot of explaining. Spooky's never DM'd before too, so this was her very first DM, and she did a great job. It's just that they take a little long because there's a lot more explanation that goes on with it, and some of the turns took a really long time. Like, I sat inside of a hut that we thought that we had to go and chase the bad guy into, and then magically he appeared on the other side of the thing, and we're like, all right, well, next turn, you and I, we're going to head out there, and we're going to go fight him. And then 25 minutes later, we're like, man, it's feeling real nice and safe in this hut with all that fucking bullshit going on out there. 'Cause we still, like, so many things happened in one turn. We're just, like, sitting there, we're like, man, yeah, I think I hear something going on out there. But it took a long time per turn. But there was a lot of really good, like, stuff going on, and there was a lot of really good use of a lot of really well-made characters. So, but it was definitely a very fun campaign. 6 hours was a little long, but I missed tub time, I missed bedtime, and then went an hour after the kids' bedtime, all in something that was supposed to end before or like right at dinner time. So
I like in how this is just like an allegory for this generations of Abandoning dad. My dad went out for cigarettes and never came back. My dad entered a D&D campaign and never came back.
Do you have anything else to
My
talk
dad
about,
followed the
Chris?
I'm pretty sure that's all I put in this.
Okay, then we'll keep talking about that because then I can segue on to the other stuff. But yeah, it was fun. And we played. God, what was it? It was like I forget the name of the campaign now. But it was like there was like some magical sheep that had been turned, or that was actually an elf wizard that was turned into a sheep from the true polymorph wand, and we had to fight off a bunch of wolves and an orc, and then go kill a bunch of apes, a bed dragon, and then fight the thing. I found it fucking hilarious that it's like we finally hit our stride at the final boss. It's like it took forever for them to kill the bed dragon, like a few turns, and that one really long, like 20+ minute turn that we're just sitting there like do what the fuck is going on here, and then we get to the final boss and it was all done in one turn.
Wow.
I mean, it helped that he spawns like right next to me is where like he pops up, and I'm like, all right, okay, so my fighter swings once. Okay, that's a 23. Okay. All right, that's 17 damage. Okay. Now my fighter swings again. Oh, that's a crit. And then everybody else is just like it's 6-on-1, 5-on-1 at that point, and everyone just pinpoints, and Spooky's like, "Oh, okay, I didn't think that was going to go that quickly." Then shenanigans ensued of where we wanted to loot the house of that they were at, and the house was really the wizard's house, and I'm like, fuck that, I want to loot it. I want shit. Even though I'm not going anywhere with this character, I want to loot some stuff. But so that brings me to, we run a normal D&D campaign here on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/IBeatItFirst every Sunday, in which case Spooky is one of the characters, or one of the streamers that is a character with me, which is one of the reasons why she was doing this D&D campaign, because there was quite a few of us that like had set up, and like I played in along with Chris. Nori, who's another player that's with us, was helping her DM because he DM'd some other stuff as well too. But I forgot to talk about on our last podcast how we royally fucked our DM, like, badly. We got in, well, one, I got 3 really strong beers deep in, and 2, we were like, I talked about a lot of other stuff, and I was like, oh man, I really forgot to talk about this, and I needed to talk about it, so I'm going to talk about it on this one. So we're on session 13 right now. Around session 11 is when we had what was supposed to be kind of like a mini boss prelude going up to the main boss. And our DM Whale was going to like hardcore JRPG the shit out of this. He was doing the standard trope of boss is there, boss goes, you guys aren't important enough for me, I got better things to do, and he's gonna fly off. In this case, he's gonna fly off on his eagle because it's D&D, and he summons shit. He summons a big ass monster. I forget which one it was, and then summons an ogre, and like he's got these other like high powered orcs there to fight us and we're all like, okay, that's fine. Oh, he's got to wait a turn for the eagle to be summoned. Then he's got to mount the eagle. Then he's got to fly off, and his eagle flies 30 feet per turn. And I have a warlock that can shoot Eldritch Blast 300 feet in range. So, and
You're going nowhere.
He forgot that one of our characters was an Aesimer and could fly. So we get into this battle, and we come up with a strategy. I'm like, okay, I'm sticking back, like way far back. Like I can cover you guys if necessary, but I'm gonna stick way far back because I can literally hit anything from anywhere, and it doesn't really fucking matter. And the Aesimer, who's played by Alpha Yokai, is like, all right, I'm gonna fly. You guys concentrate on the big monster, and heal every now and then because we have a healer. and we're just gonna fucking like pound on this guy whenever possible. And then everybody else like threw in a couple of things, like one of our we have a construct barbarian that realized that basically has Kratos's hand or Kratos's axe from the newer God of War, where he can just throw it and it returns back to him. He's like, oh, and it counts as standard melee damage. Shit, yeah. So every once in a while he'd throw one in. So he's got a cube of force, which he was hoping was gonna like solve all his problems, because the cube of force can stop melee damage, or it can stop physical projectiles. It can either stop magical projectiles. It can stop like gases and air from permeating. It can stop physical things. Like all you have to do is expend certain amounts of bits on it. So he was like, people around me, no one can enter. And then I start pelting him with Eldritch Blast. And he's like, shit, okay. All right, well, this is done. All right, so now I'm gonna do so he can't attack me. And then they come in and they start fucking attacking him hard. And he flies off. The Aesomer's like flying after him, still attacking. He was like, shit, okay, well, this one's gonna make it so that these other ones can't do it. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm still gonna fucking keep shooting him then. Now that my spells can come through, he gets at the very edge of the map, and even then, I'm like, dude, I can still hit you for like another 5 turns. You're still only like 120 feet away from me. I could do this all fucking day. And then finally, I attack him with a very high powered spell. I'm like, fine, I'm gonna use my last spell slot because Eldritch Blast is a cantrip. It doesn't matter how many fucking times I do it, and I fucking knock him down. Like after we'd already done like 150 points of damage, I think, and I knock him for another like 33, and he's like, fuck, he's dead. He's like, I fucking hate you all. Fuck you guys. He's dead. Are you happy now? He's dead. We killed the monster. The ogre, halfway through the battle, he realized that we'd done so much damage on him that he used a spell to make the ogre like enthralled with him. He's like, well, shit. He's like, I should have been doing concentration checks. With how much you guys have been hitting me, there's no way I would have made all my concentration checks. So that ogre he's just going to wander off now. We killed all but one of his orcs. We incapacitated one and took it hostage. And then to add insult to injury to poor Whale, Alpha goes to loot the body and rolls a fucking nat 20.
Yep.
So he's like,
powers.
we're gonna have to do the loot afterwards. We're like, no, we should do the loot now. He's like, no, we're gonna have to do the loot afterwards. And then Omni's like, oh yeah, Whale probably didn't write what the loot was because he didn't think that we were gonna kill him. We're like, oh right. Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry, bud. So afterwards, in the next session, my character, because it's the magic caster, ends up with the cube of force, ends up with a scroll of level 3 fireball, a scroll of darkness, and a scroll of healing. We end up with a +1 battle axe that goes to Omni. We end up with a really fucking great like fire sword that goes to the Aesomer. And we're all just like, all right. Then we sold the orc that we had to the army that had conscripted us for our 500 platinum. That's how much the goal was for this, or the bounty was to bring back his head, was 500 platinum, which we weren't supposed to get this early in the game.
Right.
We sell his general orc for a new fucking carriage so that we could all like ride in style to the next area. It was fucking great. I'm sorry. This might be the nerdiest segment that we've done of what I'm playing, but I swear to God, it was so fucking fun.
That's amazing.
Just watching and hearing like all of these like mechanics. 'Cause during the entire time, we're like attacking. He's like, stop. It's like, please stop, guys. We're like, nope. We're going for it. He's like, please stop. We're like, no, sorry, Will. This ain't happening.
You made this decision.
He's flying,
D&D, man.
He's flying parallel to me. I have to shoot him. If I don't, that's bad storytelling. Come on. It's right up there with why didn't Gandalf just have the eagles fly them all to fucking Mordor?
Because the Eagles wouldn't want to do that. They're not
Yes, they
any part
would've.
of this battle.
No, they weren't even
wouldn't
part of a
want to do
battle
that.
at that point. If the Eagles
They
were
were
going to
part of
save them, why couldn't they
Eagles
fly
are not
them
gonna.
there?
No, you're not gonna tell them that. Hey, go fly into this like dangerous area for no goddamn reason because we just want you to. They're not gonna do that.
They flew into a dangerous area to save them for no goddamn reason other than to save their
To save
stupid
them,
lives.
to save some people. Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
to save the
Yeah,
world.
we owe you a favor. We owe you a favor. No, they didn't go out there to save the world.
A
They give fuck
favor?
about the world.
He did the same thing
They
in The
don't give a
Hobbit.
fuck about the world. They don't give a fuck about the world. They were there to be like, okay, fine, we'll go get the damn things. And they brought 3 of them to bring back Smeagol as well. And Smeagol was kind of dead. Spoilers.
Spoilers. All right, so beyond D&D, because that's 3 stream sessions at that point now in between the last podcast, because I do D&D weekly on Sundays, and then we had the Saturday one. I played It Takes Two with Dreamy the Nightmare, which is actually a fun game. I mean, it's totally convoluted and bullshit, and it does require 2 people to play it, but it works well.
Hence the name.
Yeah, it works well. It doesn't. We didn't have any connectivity issues at all. And Dreams is across the U.S., so that worked extremely well. And I did like that they added in like little mini games that you guys could go head to head. So it's like in the middle of the story, you can kind of look off and see something, and you run up and you activate it, and it's like, oh, it's a mini game, and you either go head to head on a certain thing, or like you're doing target practice or anything like that for it. So it adds like a little extra thing of like competitiveness inside all of the like helping each other. It's a little fucked up on the story. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little weird. Very, very strange, and realistically, horrible people all around. But it's a fun game, and it's free on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, you should pick it up. I also went through 1, 2, 3, and Reach of the Halo series with Dreams and a couple of other people, both on our stream and on other streams for it. We just kind of like went through it over like a week and a half. Nice and easy. I'm going to be 100% honest. Halo 3 was a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. Like, it went bing, bang,
Halo
boom.
3 short.
I was like, boom, done.
2's forever. Yeah. One's good. 2's forever. 3 is just like, wait, what?
What?
And yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, playing that game, I have no idea what the fuck happened. And we didn't even skip like cutscenes or anything like that. I'm just like, what the fuck happened? Like, did I miss something because I was playing with somebody else?
Plant Monster God.
I guess it was weird, but yes, that whole thing, man. Jumping through buttholes in that game was weird, especially considering like they've upped the resolution on them. There were some major issues on mine and other people's computers though with the upscaling on those games. Like, no matter what you did, we had to drop down to regular Halo graphics quite a few times because it would just start stuttering on us no matter what. And it was at the same point with multiple people running 2060, 2070, like good video cards that really shouldn't have problems with it.
See, what they meant by Halo co-op being available by May, they meant Halo Everywhere co-op, not just Infinite.
But yes, so I played that, and that's like, I haven't done a whole lot of like newer games. I'm waiting for a review copy of a game that I don't want to talk about right now because I don't want to jinx it. Waiting for that to come, and I'm also at a point where I'm going to start playing some solo games that need to be played. So I'm going to do those. But Jason,
Did I play games? I don't even know if I played games.
I don't know. I don't think you played any games.
games.
We just ate a bunch of fucking turkey together. That's what
Oh God, we ate so much turkey. Good job on the turkey, by the way, Eric, too. And,
I was telling Chris about this before the podcast started. I'm like, I totally thought I fucked up that turkey, like hardcore. At one point, I was measuring parts of the thighs, and they were like 189. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be bad. I'm like, why is this part of the thigh 189 and the fucking breast is still 150? I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. And it finished like way early, so I had to hold it at 170 in the oven for quite a long time. So thankfully it made its way to Jason's with its delicious smoky goodness gravy in hand as well, because I
Way
smoked
better than
the
last
turkey.
year's too.
See, last year's, if it wasn't so salty because of the rub, would have been way better because it had more smokiness to it. I wish that this one had a little bit more smokiness. That's all. Otherwise, this gravy was definitely far superior to last year's. Anyways, games, not foods. Games.
Games. All right.
Space.
All right, I played
Games.
Space. Played a few games over the holiday weekend that we just had and stuff like that. Black Friday, a few good deals that I talked about last episode as well that I decided to pick up and try out. But first and foremost, what I'd like to do is call out an indie dev game first, and that is Team 17, who has done Worms series is what they're really known for, but they also did Neon Abyss and then Golf with Friends, which is what we've all done multiple times on our
same
streaming.
I forgot about that. Yeah, same people that made Neon Abyss. Yeah. Love that game.
Mm-hmm. A great game. They made a game called Before We Leave, and it is a very chill resource management strategy game. Kind of think like Settlers of Catan if you're playing by yourself, but you can take it to space. And space. They do a great job of making a overall chill resource management game where you're building a city, you're planning out your course, you're planning out what you want to do, building up buildings for people to live in, farms, building oil refineries and shit like that, dealing with pollution, dealing with electricity, and then you have to like expand off your island. And the game starts off, it's very like octagonal. You're on an island. You have one island that you're on. You explore the island, you build up your city and stuff like that. It's just like, hey, we're getting too big for this island. You should build a ship. So you build like a boat. And it's just like, all right, let's go off. And as you go off, the octagon starts like expanding on out and turning into a globe. And it gets very circular. Like, so you're kind of looking at this as a globe aspect, as if you're looking at a planet. And you find other islands to take over. You build up other things. Then you set up shipping routes between the two because you don't need to build steel refinery on both islands. You have a steel refinery over there. Let's just bring steel over. And you're building up all these different trade routes. Then you discover on one of then you continue to grow. You go expand out. And you find out the entire planet. Planet is only like 3 islands. So you go to the 3rd island and you find out, hey, wait, there's a destroyed rocket ship here. Maybe we could repair this. So you go in through and you start building up all your resources to build the rocket ship. And then, as far as I've gotten so far, you then blast off into space and go to another planet to then start all over again. But you have to maintain all your planets together. So it real quickly goes from just like, hey, don't starve, to, hey, galactic empire real fast.
Don't starve the galaxy.
Yeah, don't starve the galaxy.
Yeah.
And it's very low key.
The galaxy.
It's very chill. I mean, this is a fantastic game to just kind of be like, blast some tunes.
Wait, did you just
play
say
the game
chill
and
and galactic domination all in the same paragraph?
I mean, there's no enemies. There's nothing to really
okay.
take on. It's very much just like go out and conquer at your leisure. Like it's not like the story behind it is that you are emerging out of a bunker after a galactic war, and so there's like disassembled and broken down buildings all over the places and iron like machines all over the place that you're harvesting for iron and concrete to build your own shit. So it's very post-apocalyptic, but obviously post-galactic apocalyptic, because as you continue to expand, that is still out there. So that's what the storyline is. But it's very much just relaxing, like, hey, get your resources, where you're doing, setting up your shipping lines and stuff like that. Very fun. I mean, I've had fun. If you like resource management, if you like just city planning in general, it's a great game just for that with little stress. I mean, you got to maintain happiness of your people and like all just like that. But as long as you're not being like an absolute dick, super easy to do. And it's just a matter of like getting your resources where they need to be and taking over the galaxy type thing. So looking forward to see how far they take this. And that is, again, Before We Leave by Team 17. It's on Game Pass, so check it out. It's super free and super fun to play. I've enjoyed it. Over Black Friday deals, I picked up Village and The Last of Us Part 2. Last of Us Part 2, I I know. I've been meaning to play it forever. And Village, same thing. Been meaning to play forever as well. So I dove right into Village
No,
first and
dived.
foremost because
Use bad grammar. Use bad grammar.
I
Dived.
dived it. I dived it.
Dived it.
I dived it.
I did.
I dived it. I unswam into it. Where picked it up. It's a continuation of 7. So if you liked the first person view and style of Resident Evil 7, then you'll pick it right back on up. And
it's the same guy too, right?
Yeah, it's
right,
direct continuation. Like,
but continuation is like the same main character and everything. Yeah.
Yep. Everything's right in line. It picks up right in the storyline. Goes straight from the end of 7 to 8. And they did a great job. If I have to say anything, I'm going to try to keep it as spoiler free as possible because I know people haven't played it all, Eric.
I've watched too much now, and I'm like, fuck. Like I've been spoiled by a lot of it.
In my opinion, this is one of the more narratively intriguing storylines for Resident Evil so far in their newer renditions. Obviously, 1, 2, and 3.
The intro section of why it is that you're going there, like what happens to the family and everything like that. I was just like, what?
Yeah, there's more twist to that, but yes. I mean, first 5 minutes, your entire family basically gets kidnapped and murdered. So, and you're just like, fuck,
by
I don't know what
a friendly
to do.
person.
Yeah, exactly. Who you assume is a very friendly person. So,
yes.
There's obviously good twists into that, and they even go further. There was at least 3 twists that I wasn't anticipating in this game. Like 3 of them, including who you play as, the game style that goes to it, and the final ending of it all. It was narratively one of the better Resident Evils that they've released in the most recent time. Obviously, 1, 2, and 3 still classic, still the best Resident Evils that you can possibly play. 4 was fun. Code Veronica, 5, 6, we just don't really need to talk about too often. 7 was okay, but it was out there.
I enjoyed Code Veronica. Code Veronica was different.
Code Veronica was a lot of fun to play because just like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah. Narratively and into the canon of the world of Resident Evil makes god awful no sense.
Yes, but it was a fun game.
You want to know why it was fun? It's because you played as the best fucking character in all of Resident Evil, which is Claire. Yep. Claire's the best character in Resident Evil, and why they don't build up her storyline more boggles my mind. It's just like, Chris was fine. I get why they're going with Chris because he stars, but Claire was far more dynamic of a character. She had no fucking clue what was going on. She's just a cool ass chick, and she just murders people with no volition.
I honestly think that they have a problem with making a female character the lead. Like, they did it
Resident Evil 0, they had
I think that they sat there, and I think that any sales woes that they had with the previous games and whatnot, they attributed to the female characters and not the fact that Code Veronica was a GameCube only game for the longest fucking time. God, what else?
I disagree.
No.
Because 2, look what they had Leon and Claire. And then 3, they had Jill.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that they haven't had a female lead in for fucking ever. And I think that they're attributing
5 you had the split.
Yeah, I think that they're attributing any type of sales woes and just being like, it's the female lead thing. We have to go with a male character. That's what we have to do, which it's dumb, in my opinion. But I'm saying Code Veronica was a GameCube only game for the longest time, and how many people fucking own GameCubes?
First of all, this is how also wrong you are. Code Veronica was a Dreamcast,
not GameCube. Sorry, yes, Dreamcast, yes, not GameCube. Sorry. But Sega, not Nintendo. But it was a Dreamcast game, and how many people owned a fucking Dreamcast?
I did, and it was one of the best ones that had the VMU that actually displayed your health on it. That was
barely anybody owned a fucking Dreamcast. Jason, is what we're getting at.
They were fun.
It was a fun console, but it was hard to code for, and there were so many other issues with it and its price point when it came out, so many problems with the.
That game has tons of problems. Narratively, it has no idea where it fits anywhere. It makes no sense. The storyline's stupid. The fit of how that game plays isn't the same as anything else that they've done up until that point in time. It had no point of being a Resident Evil game.
I'm saying that I think, though, the reason why they haven't had a main female lead in a very long time is because
Very long time. It's been 2 games. It's been literally 2 games. They had a female character lead in Resident Evil 5. All right, maybe 3 games, but they had a female character lead in 5. In 6,
co-lead. 4 didn't have one at all. 4 was a fucking escort
Leon.
mission with an idiot fucking girl that was in
3 was just Jill. 2 was split with Leon again. So I mean, Leon needed his own thing, fine. And the single game that they gave Claire was Code Veronica, and that sucked.
I love that Jason's
yeah.
like, I don't understand why they don't have Claire, and I'm trying to give a reason. He's like, no, you're fucking stupid. They've had so many other female leads, and I'm like, I'm saying though
because that's not the reason why, in my opinion. That's not. I think that they're choosing to ignore Claire just because they don't know how to write for her because she's just too good. And that's why they brought out Ethan, who's in 7 and 8, to be like, the best part about Resident Evil, to be honest, is you shambling around being like, I don't know what's going on. Because the second that it's just like, I know what the fuck I'm doing and I'm going to be a badass killer, then that doesn't become a Resident Evil game. It becomes a Call of Duty Zombies game. And that's the problem. And so that's why they're like, we can't go that way because Claire now is too good. You can't now have Claire be like, what's going on? You want to eat my brains? Like, it just wouldn't narratively fit anymore. She'd be like, I know what the fuck's happening here. Shoot him in the goddamn head. And I'm going to go find another puzzle key that looks like a glove for some fucking reason. Who designed this goddamn power plant?
Okay, 1. Okay, I see where you're going with this. But 2, you could have thrown Claire in with a fucking storyline of vampires and werewolves, and then she would have gone like, wait, what the fuck is going on here? Vampires and werewolves?
Okay, also, Lady Dimitrescu, or I can never say
Dimitrescu.
As far as them being vampires,
as
far as them being vampires, I am kind of like meh on that, just because it wasn't that they needed to only drink blood, it's just that they needed flesh, and obviously the blood was the easiest way to do it. So wasn't that technically?
And Lady D turns into a giant fucking dragon.
Yeah, she turns into a giant dragon. Well, I mean, with her coming out of it, I mean, all of the boss like morphs were just absolutely over the top ridiculous. Just to be
that's how they were in 7 too.
Yes.
7 the boss morphs were absolutely fucking ridiculous as well.
I mean that's this world that we're in right now with the Cordo or whatever that the mold variant that they're saying is stemmed Umbrella Company, where all the virus research is coming from.
Yeah.
Because 7 and 8 we're building up like, hey, here's the history of where Umbrella came from and the truth of where Cordo really, or the T virus, was built. It wasn't just like it was modified, it was stemmed from this mold that they found in this town, in the village. And same thing with the werewolves. It was another transformation, not necessarily werewolfies. But anyway, I digress. Fantastic game for half of it. The second half of it quickly does actually turn into Call of Duty Zombies, where it's more of a first-person shooter game than it is a Resident Evil game. My biggest disappointment is that Lady D and that whole thing that they built up so much is literally barely a fifth of the game. Like, it's the first fifth of the entire game. And then you kill her and it's just like, good job. Now move on to the rest of the game, which is cool. Like, I was taken aback. I was like, oh, neat.
That's the right way to do it narratively from a spoiler-free set. It's like you put in like this and then you realize 100%. Like, oh, she's not
way more to do.
Yeah.
Except her storyline and her world, let's just say her level set, was so perfect and so Resident Evil that the rest of it just absolutely was not. The second area you go to was just a walking simulator segment only, which was easily the most terrifying if you wanted to go from a horror aspect, but was still not Resident Evil-ish, because now that I don't have any inventory, there's nothing I can do at all, and I'm just walking sim to solve puzzles, which, again, the most terrifying, closest to PT that I could put it if I were to actually put in anything, and probably the most quote-unquote scary part. But then the third, fourth, and fifth segments are straight up just, shoot. If you find a key or something like that, you may do some backtracking, but it's not Resident Evil in the fact of just like, you just found some weird ass shit. Now you have to figure out what this goes to. There's not really any puzzles. Just like, hey, make your way through this zombie infested area, or, these guys have drills on their arms, deal with it. It just, that kind of lost a little bit. That being said, it was still a very fun game. Just, to me, not the Resident Evil that I know and love of being like, hey, Killing's part of it, but that should really be, to me, for Resident Evil, secondary. First should be the puzzle and the figuring out of what you need to do and where you need to go next. Secondary should be killing. That's how it was for the first 2/3. No, not even 2/3. First 2/5 was just figuring out what you were going to do. The rest was just like, cool, now you're just killing. And having your store accessible at any given time, I never even had to worry about my inventory at all, ever. And the store was always there. You could always just go to it and trade it on out. It made it a little bit feel easy mode and cheesy, that you didn't have to have the woes. So it was like, do I really need to pick up this blue herb, or any herb for that matter?
Yeah.
Or should I just move on? And you didn't have any of that problems. With that alone, though, again, like I said, narratively, I really enjoyed it. I think the storyline was there, what they did, the twists that were enough from back and forward, what you got to play, especially towards the end, a bunch of different things I was not expecting. So it was really fun, and looking forward to see what they do for 9 now, because they've definitely set it up for multiple sequels. 8 out of 10. Village 8 gets an 8 because it was a lot of fun. But yeah,
really, with that much back end boredom, that you're just like,
I had to take it back. Still an 8 out of 10. And again, just because it was just not there as far as a Resident Evil game. Otherwise, if this was like some unknown title and they're just like, hey, we have this werewolf vampire game and stuff like that, I think I would have enjoyed it a whole lot more, just being like not knowing. But I mean, Resident Evil is not meant to be a first-person shooter. You're sluggish. There is a delay in the controls for that specific reason. And so when they're just like, hey, are you going to take on 30 enemies? Good luck, motherfucker. That's not what this game's made for. Now you're just chucking out grenades and like shooting. And it's just like, this isn't, I'm a house man. I'm a stay-at-home dad. Like, why am I doing this?
I'm a fat, middle-aged NEET. Oh, wait.
Yeah. I've crafted pipe bombs and I'm chucking them at lichens like nobody's business. That's not what this kind of games. It's just, they had the first half.
You mean
dynamite?
Not lichens.
Not lichens. Yes, exactly. First half dynamite, so good. That first boss battle with Lady D was just, everything about it was just so much fun. And then it steadily decreases then, but it's still a fun game. Anyway, super fun. Last of Us then is what I also picked up. Been playing through that. Last of Us was one of my favorite games on the PS3, and I think it was on my number 1 for the top 10 that year and stuff like that. And it's still one of the endings that haunts me to this day, as being just such a beautifully perfect ending of a video game franchise, or not, of a video game in general. And them coming back to it and retconning it a whole bunch in 2 has been both fantastic, but at the same time, kind of like, because they did such a good ending. And this is why I delayed myself in picking this up for so long, because I didn't want to ruin that in any way, shape, or form. And I'm not saying that they did and that they haven't yet. I haven't beat it through yet, so I don't have a score for it. But they're doing a very good job. This game is way more cinematography than The Last of Us, the first one was. Way more storytelling than before, which is good. I think fleshing out the world is kind of important. Fleshing out the more characters that they have is also good, because obviously in the first one there's only like 3. And so getting a little bit more of the idea of the community that you've built here is neat. Seeing how Ellie is dealing with her tragic loss and going
PTSD.
through her stresses as a teenager growing up in this fucked up world, where there's a casual conversation where you're riding horses with someone and they're like, hey, so when's the first time you killed somebody? And it was just like, oh, for me it was like I was probably like 15 or whatever. And it was like, okay, when's the first time you killed a human? And it was just like, oh shit, now we're getting into like a real conversation. Because yeah, you can kill an infected all you want and all just like that all the time, because you have to survive. But when you kill a human, it's a bigger deal. And them talking about it, and not just kind of like a blase, like just being like, like, I know you've killed a human because I've killed a human, and that's just what we have to do now to survive. And then being like, yeah, I did it when I was like 10 and I was like 12. And one of them was just like, yeah, someone was going to try to rape my mom, and so I stabbed the motherfucker. And it's just like, yeah, you were 12. Good. You know what I was doing at 12? Picking my fucking nose. It's just like, Jesus, this is just really good storytelling, how it is, and how like growing up in the apocalypse is going to be way different. I would know because I've done it like 3 times. You know, and as a 37-year-old, I've lived through about 4 apocalypses so far.
At least, at least. I mean,
at least, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, every one of the Darksiders game, that was one, right?
Yeah. Okay, that's 3.
Like, is that it?
You know, we lived through Y2K, lived through all that stuff. I think I can
Y2K, the non-apocalypse, the one where we all sat there at midnight. Actually, sorry, we all sat there at midnight the day before, and just sat there and watched Australia. And went, well, nothing happened. At least that's what the smart people did.
Y2K for me was 16, so that was a weird time because I was just like, I'm ready to go like party, and
I was partying.
Fuck out.
I was 18 at that time.
I couldn't drive yet. Still couldn't. Like, I was like, January 1st, I want to go drive, and I was like, can't. DMV's closed. Fuck.
That's right. Yeah, because
So
Jason's birthday, as I think we've talked about before, his birthday is January 1. So we generally have a good party for his birthday because that is his birthday, and also the celebration of the world going around the sun one more time. But you know, that's beside the point. Anything else, Jason?
Again.
No, I think that's
I think that's it.
I feel like there was something else I played for sure, but I can't remember off the top of my head, so it must not be that.
Wasn't that memorable?
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us for the I Beat It First podcast. We know that you have many choices in podcasts, and apparently you chose wrong and listened to us. But thank you anyways for joining us. You can find us at twitch.tv/IBeatItFirst, where we stream the podcast when we record. We also do cutscene and patch notes on Twitch every Monday. Roughly Monday or Tuesday at about 8:30, 8:45 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. You can also watch us stream, as we've talked about. We do lots of streaming on here, D&D and many other things throughout that time period as well. But you can also find us at IBeatItFirst.com or IBIF.co to find every one of our podcasts on the respective platforms that it is that you want to listen to them on. I would almost said watch, but you don't watch them on those ones. You only watch it on Twitch. But that's beside the point. You can also find us Facebook, IBeatItFirst.com, Twitter, IBeatItFirst, Instagram, IBeatItFirst, and everything else, IBeatItFirst. Again, go to IBeatItFirst.com for up-to-date news. Every now and then we write articles, but for the most part, it's just podcasts that go on there now. But, I mean, we spend an awful lot of time talking during these that... Yeah. This is the easier platform. Nobody likes to read anyways. Like, people have forgotten how to read now, right? So why type things up when you can just regurgitate them out into a microphone for 2 hours? That's about it. All right, but thank you everybody for joining us. People who are watching us on Twitter, please stick with us for a minute while we end everything, and we will raid out. But without further ado...
Oh, ISuckAtGames.com.
Oh, yes. Make sure you go to ISuckAtGames.com, which is basically us, and LonelyHouseplants.com. Without further ado...
Bye-bye.
Oh, my God.
Recording stopped.
That might be the best one so far. I'm not going to lie. Might be the best one so far. All right.
Because he actually was able to record it all?
Well, yeah, but then also just he realized how ridiculously stupid it was halfway through the... All right, I'm looking through to see who we've got. Oh, okay. We're going to raid... I was going to raid into Dreams, but we're going to raid into somebody that we haven't been able to raid because he's not normally streaming at the time that we are. But we're going to raid into Daft Boy Trunks, who also does D&D with me. And he is doing Yakuza 3. Is that the one? Yeah, he's doing Yakuza 3 Remastered right now. So we're going to go ahead and raid into Daft. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. Please stick around with the raid. Say hello to Daft.
By the actual Yakuza.
Yeah. Tell him he's cute. He's a cutie pie. Number one cutie streamer on Twitch. Let him know, everybody. But, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. You look like your dad.